Are you listening? This ain't no quiet thing. We're screaming out our lungs. Hey, are you listening? Hey, are you there? Hey, are you listening? Or do you just not
All right, welcome friends to Hey, Are You Listening? This is a podcast exploring the past, present, and future of Christian music. My name is Joel, and I'm here with my good friend Brandon, and we connected over mutual love of some certain artists, but also have different tastes when it comes to things, and so we get to expose each other to new things while inviting some friends along for the ride from time to time. And we actually have a guest with us today. And so you may know him from his work on your PV guitar amp or his time in the bands Bellador and Ransom Tree. He's a worship leader, and my college roommate and best friend, Mr. John Paul Dove. JP, how are you, my friend?
Man, it is great to be on this podcast. I've been on the outside looking in, just like let me in there. And you guys are having such a great time. And anyway, man, it's oh, here's phone fell out.
You're good.
Yeah. So, but yeah, it's just great to be here to connect with you. Anyway, it's always good to catch up. But anytime we get together, it's always music. Anyway, that's kind of the thing we talk about. So
that's right, man. It's a perfect fit.
It's a natural thing.
Yeah. We're super thankful to have you here with us today. Yeah, it's been for me and you, music from the beginning that kind of drew us together.
From the very beginning.
Yeah. I think I met you. I was playing bass for a couple of guys that were in my youth group that started a music thing. And we were doing auditions for guitar players. And I think you came in to audition, and the day that you remind me if I'm right or wrong about this, but the day that you auditioned, they decided that they actually didn't want to do this anymore, and they wanted to go back to singing with tracks or something and not have a band.
Yeah. I was like, that's not very rock and roll. I was like, what is this? See, yeah, that used to be a thing, singing to tracks.
Yep.
It was like karaoke for church. It was the thing to do.
It's pretty funny.
But yeah.
And so I think we decided that day, well, if they don't want us, we'll just start our own thing and go from there.
Yeah, we did. And what year was that? I was trying to, I think what was it? Was it 95?
It was probably 95. It had to have been 95. Yeah.
Yeah, I think so. But yeah, I remember that. And then we kind of had a constant rotation of people that we were playing with.
There's no doubt about that.
Yeah.
But you and I always stuck it out together until I eventually quit.
Yeah, until you got enough of that, decided, hey, as much as stinky vans are fun, I think I'd rather get married and, start an actual life.
Oh, yeah. Classic story.
I couldn't blame you.
Classic story of a woman coming in, and she was completely worth it though, and she still is every day.
Oh, you made a great decision.
I'll never regret that one. That's cool, man. Well, I'm so excited for us to be able to talk through this today. Tell us a little bit, John Paul, like for you, like how did Christian music kind of enter into your story and your world? Like how'd you get involved?
Well, I think for me, like just music in general, like I heard you guys talking in one of the previous episodes. Y'all are talking about, your history with Christian music or just music in general. And, I had a very similar experience to you, Joel, in the sense that music was just always there. And I was, I learned to play guitar with my dad, and then my grandfather was always singing, like some of the early Christian music that I remember was actually written by Hank Williams, or I mean, like, or like Johnny Cash, like
Yeah.
his some of his stuff. But that's what that's how I discovered music in general. And but yeah, just the getting into that kind of music, learning it, and then just at church, it just they find out, oh, you play guitar, and so they want to put you up there and on the stage every now and then to show you off. But I mean, I'm sure it was awful, but so I just started learning to play some of the standards, and it was really interesting. It wasn't really until I met you, Joel, until I really as far as like Christian music outside of just church music.
Yeah.
And it was right about that time. I remember I was in I'd gone to a camp down at Gulf Shores Baptist Assembly, and it was the first time I ever walked into I guess it was a Lifeway. Yeah. And so I saw this section of CDs or cassette tapes, and started looking through it, and I was like, wait a minute. Wait. I think the very first record I ever bought was Big Tent Revival.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, Big Tent Revival. And I remember learning to play that song, Two Sets of Joneses.
Yeah. That was
And
a good
then
one.
and then, if I'm not mistaken, I'd met you, and then you introduced me to Pray for Rain, PFR, and then I remember at some point seeing Jars of Clay when they first came out. Like it was at a church or some youth night, and I went to it, and I don't know, I just started. It was just kind of eye opening to me, but I think the majority of my experience with Christian music probably wasn't until I got into college.
Right.
I learned a lot of I got exposed to a lot of Christian music actually outside of the world of church music in particular, mostly from you and some of our mutual friends.
Yeah.
So
yeah, it was fun. JP and I roomed together in college, and so our lives kind of melded together at a deep level for a few years at that point. And so
Absolutely.
everything was, one of us was getting exposed to something, the other one was too, which was kind of fun.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, one of my memories is my exposure to most of the music I was listening to is at that time was usually riding in either your truck. I was riding shotgun there, and you would go through your stack of CDs, your binder.
Yeah.
And you'd say, "Hey, you got to check this out." So we'd put that in and listen to it, or on the way to Waffle House or something.
And then eventually in the van as we were kind of traveling around, which was fun. Yeah.
Yeah, we had an old GMC van. I don't know what year that van was, but yeah, we traveled around, and rest in peace, Reggie. Yeah, we named our van Reggie.
Yeah. All right. Well, today I'm gonna give a game to you guys, just kind of a fun way for us to get thinking and talking about some of this. And so this is a new game called Guilty Pleasures. And so this is something where all three of us are going to do, where we name 2 guilty pleasures for ourselves in the CCM world, meaning that like it could be an artist, it could be an album, it could be a song, but something that like you probably wouldn't readily want other people to know that like you're like actually really into this thing. So yeah, what is a guilty pleasure for you?
Okay. I've got several, but here's the thing: guilty. When you look like me, I'd have lost all shame years ago. But I will say that I do still pull out T-Bone.
T-Bone.
I will still listen. Okay, so here's the deal. Look, when you're having to deal with TPS reports at work and copiers aren't working and things like that, but you still want to represent Jesus well. That's kind of yeah. So I definitely I'll have to listen to some Christian gangster rap if that makes any sense.
So
But
you're still a lyrical assassin, huh?
I don't know if theologically if that checks out or not, but it feels good.
I hear you.
Yeah, it definitely feels good, so
That's funny.
take that, demons.
Yeah, some of those early Christian rap records were I think the first CD that I ever bought was the Dynamic Twins.
Oh man.
Which was like a Christian rap record. But yeah, I was pretty into that for a little while. For sure. Yeah, I remember that.
It's good stuff.
So I'm gonna throw one out, and we can kind of go bounce around. But for me, one that I think I've learned to appreciate more over time is Amy Grant, guys.
Oh man,
Amy Grant is so good. Such a great singer, such a good songwriter. From Baby Baby, but especially the Christmas music. I feel like nobody does Christmas music like Amy Grant, and so I'm here for it. Yeah, just bring it.
Yeah, she really does. I was thinking about that too. Yeah, Amy Grant, man.
She's awesome. What about you, Brandon?
So for me, it was a struggle because I feel like even weird stuff I listen to, I'm very like Danielson. I'm like, I think it's weird and good. For me, the one that came to mind was, do you guys remember the To Save a Life movie that came out?
Yep.
There was an original rap song they did by some guy named Jay Russ. And it's just this like Italian guy that has like an afro, and he does this like, it's supposed to be a really cool rap song because it's supposed to be like, oh, we did a live concert for this.
Right.
And I feel like it's so cringy, but it's like if I wanted to put someone in the background that's just like, yeah, you move to or whatever, that's what I'm
Jay Russ
playing. Yeah, Jay Russ. There you go.
I don't know it, but I will check it out. That's pretty awesome. JP, you got any more?
Man, I'm not really ashamed of it, but I mean, I'm a big fan of Rich Mullins, but there are a few of his tracks that I have to admit, instrumentally are kind of cheesy, but I still or they sound dated, but I still rock out to Awesome God. I love that. And yeah, I love it. I mean, like his stuff is amazing. And then there are some things that I do listen to that I can't listen to around anyone else because, for one thing, it just like, Few Left Standing. I get in the mood for it, and it's like even my kids are like, "What is wrong with you, Dad?" and I'm just like, sometimes you just got to open up the pit. I don't know. I mean, but I just have to do it. And I, and then all the nice ladies at church, they just, they look at you like, what? Yeah. I just have to keep that to myself.
And those guys are awesome. There's nothing to be ashamed of there.
Yes, I'm not ashamed of it, but it's just, I have to listen to it by myself.
I will say that I don't think I want to use this platform as a way to attack people, but looking through trying to choose cringy like music, I came across, I gotta call out someone on Spotify. There's a playlist that's cringy Christian music. I click on it and it's all just Toby Mac songs. So someone out there named Rachel is going, and I was so I was like, Rachel, what? So I don't know this Rachel person, but I just felt
Yeah.
personally attacked. Listen, there's some stuff that I'll give it to you. Might be a little cringy, but I felt like it wasn't questionable stuff. So just there's Rachel out there that in her mind, if she was here right now, she would say, "You want cringe? Go listen to some
That
Toby
one,
Mac."
that one hurt a little bit, huh?
It did. I felt
Oh,
personally
man.
attacked.
Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry
Well,
you had to experience that.
I met him 2 years ago
Hmm.
at an expo in California for
Mhm.
work. But yeah, he played a surprise show there, so I did get to. Yep, man, he puts on a great show.
Part of me was really worried that John Paul was about to share, like, yeah, I met him. Worst guy ever.
Oh no, he was a super. I met him and his bass player at the time.
Okay.
They came by our booth. Yeah.
That's really cool.
Anyway,
I heard he has a next door neighbor.
Hmm.
Sorry, I'm going back to the Stephen Curtis Chapman episode. Got to be true. Got to be true.
Stephen Curtis Chapman.
Um,
Yeah.
all right, so let me just throw one more out here. This is hard. This is hard for me because, yeah, I feel like I don't know. We've already covered this. We've already covered this band.
Hmm.
I think to most people, the fact that I am a big Sixpence None the Richer fan
Hmm.
might be something
Yeah.
that they would look at and say, that's got to be a guilty pleasure because Kiss Me, like
Mhm.
you're into that, and I'm 100% into it. But
Oh,
also
dude.
even more into everything else that they've put out. So yeah, I'll go with Sixpence as like another one for me. But
Yeah.
deeply
It's
love.
like nothing to be ashamed there.
No, they're such a good band. Such a good band. All right, well, let's talk about what we've been listening to lately. So, in the Christian music world, what's something you guys have been listening to lately?
Man, I've been listening to that new John Van Dusen.
Mm,
Yeah, it's I'm still not over that third record. I go back to it and listen to it all the time. What's the name of it? It's escaping me.
the I Am Origami Part 2, that one?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah. So good.
Yeah. JP, I put the same thing down because that record just came out, I think this past
Yeah.
Friday.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You sent it to me.
I did, yeah.
Yeah.
As long as I am in the tent of this body, I will make a joyful noise. So longest album title outside of probably like something Sufjan has
Wow.
done over time. But 18 songs on that record, and there's a part
Wow.
2 coming because he couldn't fit them all.
Man.
In the end, it'll be like a triple record, basically. But it's so
So
good. Yeah, I can't wait to cover some John Van Dusen on this podcast.
Yeah. I mean he is incredible. And I listen to I like John Mark McMillan a lot. I'm always coming back to his music.
Rest in peace.
Yeah.
He just officially like quit making music. John Mark McMillan.
Oh, yeah?
Sadly, yeah.
Oh man.
Sorry, I didn't mean
But
to
yeah.
drop that on you in the middle of the podcast.
Well, I didn't. I thought he had like when you said rest in peace. I
It could have been worse, I guess.
was like, dude, it's all right, brother. Take a break. Don't write a song for a little while. Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm just glad you're okay. Anyway.
Yeah. That's good. It's a really good one. Brandon, what about you?
I've rediscovered recently. It's a side project of Mark Solomon and Steve. I think his name's Dale. But it's a side project called White Lighter, and it's just a one-off album they released 10 years ago. But I discovered it 2 or 3 years ago, and it's sort of this this hidden, the third album of Neon Horse is the best way to describe it.
Okay.
Is
Yeah.
that it feels it's the same voices, it's a lot of the same people that are still involved with it. Like Jason Martin is still involved in the production of it, so it feels so much like Neon Horse. So it's a really cool, just kind of this strange like album. And I mean, I think it gets maybe about 70 listens on Spotify a month, and probably
Yeah.
50 of those are me. But so it's just this like very hidden, obscure album, but like it's 30 minutes of just really good music.
Man.
So
Mark Solomon, that
Wow.
voice. Yeah. That's cool.
Oh man.
That's awesome. I love that. So one of the things we like to do when we have a guest on is to let our guests bring one of their favorite records to us for us to get to spend some time with. So, John Paul, what album have you brought for us to talk about today?
Well, The Hunger by 7 Day Jesus. Yes, it was one of those records. When I heard it, it kind of started to put a lot of things together for me. Because at that particular time I was really growing spiritually, but all the music I was listening to, again, bands, listening to Rich Mullins, listening to, trying to get some meat, some theology. And then,
Yeah.
but then also, like, I was really getting into indie rock music, and it was just kind of like they all came together with that record. And I was like, wow, this is it. I was like, oh, this is interesting. Like I need to digest this record. So
Yeah, I was trying to think back on this one too. I can't remember what exposed me to 7 Day Jesus as I think through it. It might have just been a 5 Minute Walk Records sampler.
it was.
You remember?
I do remember because you and I think I remember us talking about it because it was a sampler that
One of their Take Time to
Five
Listen.
Iron Frenzy. Yeah, it was 5 Iron Frenzy. I mean, we were getting really into them, but heard this thing, and I was like, okay, wait, so it's like a little bit of Sunny Day Real Estate. Like you can kind of hear that sort of
Yeah.
indie rock, that little beginnings of emo, but then I was like, man, I don't know. There's just something about the lyrics, like there's some meat here, And I was like, man, I need to explore that. I was thinking about it today. It's kind of like I was like, it's basically Presbyterian Weezer. That's I was like, wow, I'm so depraved. But man, this is a great hook.
That's a great way to put it. Yeah, I remember I was eating up, Brandon knows this already. I was eating up everything tooth and nail, and then when I found 5 Iron Frenzy, started listening to there's all these 5 Minute Walk bands as well, and so I'm like buying all these samplers, and so I'm pretty sure it was one of their Take Time to Listen samplers that came out that kind of exposed us to 7 Day Jesus. Do you remember did you go with me to see 7 Day Jesus play in Jackson?
Yes. I do remember us going to see 7 Day Jesus. Yes.
And
I can't remember who they play with.
Super weird tour. So 7 Day Jesus was second. I think the opener was All Star United before their first record came out, and the headliner was Third Day.
I do. Yep, I absolutely remember that.
What a bizarro tour. But this was like when Third Day was still like, it was like right around when the first record came out. They were like edgy. They weren't like mainstream CCM at this point.
Yeah, it was like Consuming Fire. I think, yeah, that first record.
Yeah.
Man, that was a fun time.
What a time to be alive.
It really was.
That was a really awesome show. I remember having a conversation. I remember meeting Brian McSweeney, who's the lead singer of Seven Day
Yeah.
Jesus, at that show. Super down to earth guy. And I was totally fanboying, just like getting the chance to talk to him. And I remember him asking me, I was talking about how much I love the record, and he was like, well, we're working on the second one. He's like, what would you want to be different about like another record from us? And I was like, I've never had an artist ask me that before. And I think I remember telling him it'd be cool to put some acoustic guitar on there, which they ended up putting a lot of acoustic guitar on that second record.
Yeah.
So I like to think that I was very influential in the Forefront second release by 7 Day Jesus that came out just the next year.
I think you probably were. I think so.
Oh,
I mean, he probably knew who he was talking to. He got a sense of it. He's like, this.
oh, yeah, no, not at all. But I'd love to get into that second record at some point too, because so this first album, just some opening thoughts, and then we'll talk about it. So a little bit of info before we dig into it. So a little bio on it. So The Hunger is the first album released by 7 Day Jesus. Came out in 1996. They recorded with future Five Iron Frenzy producer Masaki Liu and Plank Eye bassist Luis Garcia. It was released on 5 Minute Walk Records, with its follow-up coming out on Forefront Records. And so they moved from this independent label to kind of one of the big heavy hitter labels. 7 Day Jesus toured The Hunger with Plank Eye and Fold Zandura, and a longer tour with All Star United and Third Day, which we were able to catch them on. So this record, like you said, John Paul, for me, it carries a lot of that early kind of emo vibe in the days of a band like Sunny Day Real Estate, where we're bridging the gap between alternative music and what would become emo. And so it's in an interesting spot musically there, because you have to think about this. So this record came out in 96. 1995 is when Jesus Freak came out by DC Talk, which was kind of like alternative is everything in Christian music. And then you have a band like 7 Day Jesus just the next year say, well, actually, we're already like progressing into something else. And so it's a pretty progressive record in that sense at its time.
It really was. Yeah.
And
it was really just ahead of its time. Yeah.
And then they do a follow-up just 1 year later, which is very different. A lot more pop and a lot more hooks and a lot better production, obviously, because it's on Forefront Records. And at the time, I was so enamored with this early 7 Day Jesus that I'm like, what is this garbage? I didn't super love it, but man, as I go back and listen to that second record now, I'm like, this thing's so good. It's a phenomenal album, and I think it rivals like anything that Forefront Records put out. And so I'm looking forward to talking about that one day too. So, Brandon, for you, this is your first listen. So I don't know if you have any kind of opening thoughts or anything that.
We'll dive into it, but going into this, I'd never listened to this band, and for whatever reason, I thought that they were like this like Chris Tomlin type, like worship, like a 90s Chris Tomlin. So yeah, going into this, that was my thought. So
yeah, it ended up being a little different than you thought.
A little different.
Yeah,
that's fun. I love that. Well, let's kind of get into it track by track. The Hunger, 7 Day Jesus. JP, you have any more opening thoughts before we kind of dig into it?
No, I think let's just dig into it.
I
Let's
just
just
one thing that I would say, and I think it's going to become very clear. I Brian McSweeney was the best vocalist in Christian music in
Oh yeah,
1996. Um,
yeah. It wasn't even close. Yeah, you're right.
Hands down. What an incredible singer. I was reading an interview with him to do some research for this, and it was talking about like all of his musical influences. And he was talking about bands that he liked, like I don't Pavement and a lot of these like heavier
Hmm.
whatever bands. But he cited as his main vocal influence Michael English, if you remember him.
Oh wow,
Which he
yeah.
does sing a lot like Michael English, which is just kind of
Oh
interesting. So
man,
he has a very CCM like vocal influence on top of this like really heavy kind of music, which is just a fascinating combination.
yeah.
All right, so track by track, first song on the Hunger is "A Time to Heal." What do you guys think about this one?
Dude, I would be curious to hear the new guy's thought. The
So
new, yes.
yeah, so every week I feel like I talk about how I feel like the first song is maybe the most important because it really sets the tone. Because
Yeah.
there's some albums that the first track is just like terrible, and it's like you're almost digging yourself out of the hole.
Yeah.
But like I said, going into it, I'm expecting it to be this like I don't know, this like some strings and very soft and piano. So it was a really nice surprise to be like, oh, that's not what this band is.
Yeah.
So for me, I think it was a great opener. Like it is someone who, for me, I have no buy-in of this album is good or bad or anything, but immediately when it hits, I want to listen to more. Like I'm excited to dive into this album. So I think that's always cool when it's like I said, for me, it's like this might be one of the worst albums I've ever listened to, but it's I want to dive into this. So yeah, I feel like it's great guitar. But yeah, like it's as a new person going into this, it hooked me.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, I feel like this one, it's got a good amount of energy kind of going into it. You get where the name of the band Seven Day Jesus comes from, because
Hmm.
he says in the lyrics, "Not just Sunday." Like it sets
Hmm.
the idea of like every day we want to be pursuing Jesus and following Jesus. I do feel like this song is kind of like it's a showcase for what the whole album is going to be. Like it
Hmm.
sits kind of in the middle or the center of like where the album moves. And
Yeah,
so it just kind of fits really well as an opening track.
Hmm.
Yeah. What do you think, JP?
yeah. Well, I mean, I was just blowing like I don't know. I think you've said so much about it already, but it's just I don't know. It was just to me like from my experience, like kind of where I was when this record came out. I think that was it really spoke to me because so much of the music that was out was especially in Christian music was just very everything was happy, just very just bubbly, if you will. But I'm hearing something in this that's like it's I, I'm not being very clear right now, but
You're good.
um
Something a little
I don't
deeper and
know.
more
Well, it
insightful.
just did. It was like sometimes walking, like getting into the deep things of the Lord. Like there's a lot of pain there. There's a
Hmm.
lot of death, dying to self. Like it's a painful process. And here's somebody singing about that very thing, and I'm just like, okay, I can connect with this.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Okay, this feels authentic to where I was at the time. I think
Hmm.
that's why it meant so much to me.
That's good. I love that.
So we move on to strength. Joel, what are you thinking about strength?
So Strength is one of my favorite tracks on the record.
Oh yeah.
I love the opening of it, just like you get a sense from just this picking of this guitar, like where this is going. I think this is one of the catchiest songs on the album. It gives me a real
Yes.
you mentioned like reformed Weezer. Like this is the song that gives me the real Weezer vibe, or Blur
It
even.
totally does.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um yeah, I love this song because I think it's super catchy. And I love the line, sometimes I think about the cross, but sometimes I'm thinking about myself. Because
Yeah.
how well does that capture like all of our experiences of like, so often we're just thinking about ourselves when we need to be focused in on Jesus and who he is. So I think
Yeah.
this is a great track.
It really is. Yeah. Sometimes I think of going back to the time that I once knew, then I get a glimpse of you.
Mm,
Yeah. Yeah. Awesome.
Yeah, I lyrically I liked it, and I think musically I differ a little bit because I feel like it was a little like chaotic, and I don't know. I guess it was like just that like one tick from me, where it's like that line of like, oh, I don't know where. Like I guess for me, it's like I don't know where this is gonna go, but also I'm sitting here being like. I'm the second track into this being like, oh, this isn't 90s worship music. um, so, but like I do think it is cool, and you know, with a lot of these albums, it is cool trying to put this lens on what it was meaning back then. Like it's this album's very different if it's released this year versus then.
right.
So it is thinking like, okay, like what's the differences? But yeah, I felt like it was maybe just like that tick over, like of going all over.
Yeah. We need to get you listening to some Weezer.
Yeah.
So you can feel it.
Well, and then another thing I thought about, was, the year this came out, 96. I mean, this was, teenage angst was all the rage back then.
Mm-hmm.
Like, that was just kind of like in pop culture in general, like
Mm-hmm.
in alternative music in general, it was just this, yeah, like you saw that, like, even with like Nirvana,
Mm-hmm.
coming, like, this was right after, several years after them, but it's just, that was kind of the mood of that generation.
Yeah.
um and I think he captured it well.
Mm-hmm.
It's like wow. Yeah, anyway.
Yep. So that goes into track 3, Flyby. Yeah.
Bye bye.
What do you guys think about Flyby?
Man, it's just incredible. there's no track on this that I don't like.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I think what it is, like, every track on this, it's like he's just it's almost like pulling a layer away. It's like you're seeing him almost in real time, just discovering the
Mm-hmm.
the deep things of the Lord.
Mm-hmm.
And with that, and in doing that, it's when you see the holiness of God, you're confronted with your own unholiness, your
Yeah.
own sinfulness,
Yeah.
and yeah. So yeah, I don't know.
Yeah. I think when this one kicks off, you're like, oh, okay. Like
Yeah.
this is pretty heavy.
Yeah,
Which is interesting that you end up with like this heavy
Mhm.
guitar, and then you go to like these like soft melodic vocals,
Mhm.
Yeah.
which is kind of leading into that early emo kind of feel of what's going
Yeah.
on. But then these like big choruses. I think my favorite part of this song though is like when you almost feel like the song ends and
Mhm.
there's like a musical turn that it takes, where it builds back in to the same song, but it almost feels like a different song building back into the same song. It's kind of a cool thing that they do.
So this track,
Yeah.
me and Joel, like we don't talk beforehand of like, oh, here's my rating or that rating. But
Yeah.
earlier he was
Yeah.
telling me a little bit about how this album like really wasn't overly produced versus like the next album had a lot of production. And so like, and I'd be interested like on with your take on this, John Paul. But like, so with this track, I felt like it wasn't overly produced, but I felt like it's one of those tracks where I think a little more production would have helped a lot. So I guess like for you, is it something that you think that the rawness does make it a lot better, or do you think like a little production like does help with a track like this?
I don't think there's a right answer
Mhm.
or a wrong answer there. I mean, well, I mean, I,
Mhm.
I think it's a great question,
Yeah.
but to me, um, I don't. I think the rawness of it is kind of what I connected with
Okay.
because it was this. I think that well, okay. Let me put it this way. I heard years ago. This is without getting too far off track.
Mhm.
I had a musician, a guy I used to work with or work for at a guitar shop. And
Mhm.
one of the things he told me, he said, if it's a good song, it's
Mhm.
going to be a good recording.
Mm.
And what he meant by that, like he was referring to like the early Beatles stuff,
Mhm.
like four maybe eight tracks.
Mhm.
Production wise is not much there, but if it's a good song, it's going to connect.
Yeah.
And I think that's kind of the way I take a song like this.
Mhm.
It's just. But the thing is like with a good song like this too, like you could cover it, you could
Mhm.
do it like a different genre altogether. But if
Yeah.
it's at its heart a good song, it's gonna connect. So I don't know. I like the way it was produced, but I
Mhm.
could I could imagine it being like if it were more slick.
Mhm.
You know, it's like I say, I like raw stuff, but then like, 2 years after this, that was when Jimmy World did Clarity, and it was an absolute masterpiece
Mhm.
of production. So, you know, I don't know.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, that's a really good point. Sometimes it's hard to like kind of nail
Mhm.
down thoughts on that kind of thing. Track 4 leads us into the Forgive song. So we've got Forgive
Mm,
Me. Um, yeah, I think this is a different feel
Mhm.
yeah,
for the record. But
yeah, it definitely is.
I love the lead guitar
Mhm.
that's going on, and I love actually the groove that the song gets
Mhm.
into. Um, I like that we've got like a female vocal
Yeah.
like
Hmm.
added in as well, and I think it's such a good bridge with them like singing together too. So yeah, I like this one a lot.
I feel like the female
Yeah.
vocalist is what stood out to me on it. I really
Yeah.
liked, and like not knowing the band, and I couldn't really like find this online, but like was that someone who was it just a random musician, or was it someone who like I don't know who it was that was providing that?
I have no idea, honestly. It's a great
I have,
question.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah.
The trivia
I
for
don't
this
know,
week for our
Joel.
listeners.
Yeah,
I don't know, but I
Joel.
like it.
Joel. Joel, you should have asked Brian McSweeney when you
You're
when you
right. I should have.
were giving him his marching orders for the next record.
Brian, come on the pod. We love you. um,
Yeah,
yeah. What'd you think about that one, JP?
dude, it's great, man. I'm
Mhm.
just as we're doing this, I'm looking. I've actually pulled up the lyrics and I'm just looking through them, and I'm just man. Okay, like this line. Although I love you, Father, I forgot to eat my bread again,
Mhm.
or
Mm-hmm.
today again. My spirit seems to be so strong, but my flesh is so weak again. I need to know you, Lord. So tired of waiting for another day to draw a line. Now step across. I can't see, but you're still there. I'm following by faith, so lead me.
Mm.
Anyway, yeah.
Yeah, he's a
I
really
don't,
really
yeah,
simple lyricist, but it just works because it's real,
Mm-hmm.
and it comes across as being real when he's singing, and I love that. I love that.
well, like a couple of weeks ago, y'all did the whole EP by Pedro
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
the Lion, and that's I think that was it's a very similar thing. Like
Mm.
I connect to the the struggle there.
Mm-hmm.
I is like, because in my experience, the Christian life, dealing with like following, I mean, salvation itself is free. It's something that we don't have to strive for.
Mm-hmm.
It's a gift. But walking with the Lord, that cost us dearly,
Yeah.
you know. And I don't know. I always love people, being real about that, and
Mm-hmm.
I don't know.
Yeah, I feel that 100%.
So yeah,
Mm.
So we move to Forgive You. I'll
okay, yeah,
Go ahead, Brandon.
so I'll say my take is context is so important, and
yes, it is.
I was thankful on Jesus Freak Hideout. They had a little blurb about each song,
Mhm.
Yeah,
about kind of the and so for me, because when I first listened, I'm like, who, like, what's going on?
what? Yeah, yeah,
But I thought this was one of my favorite tracks on the album
Mhm.
because I really respect a song that thinks we need to get this out and we're not going to try to water this down, because
Yeah.
like
yes,
Christian movies, a lot of times you'll have the bad guy in the film is still a person who's really a good person.
Yeah.
Like they're not doing a lot of bad stuff. It's just they fib to their mom and they are actually got, they're not going to a friend's house to study. They're going
yeah,
to the basketball game. And I thought to myself when I heard this, I thought of, I know, like back in, I think it's 2012, Showbread had a release and they got in so much hot water for just not being like chill about the albums or the lyrics. And so for me, I thought, I can only imagine how much this was, I don't know, controversial back in you said 96, 97 when this was released.
Yeah.
Like I was thinking, man, was it like pulled from like Family Christian once they read the lyrics, or but
yeah, yeah. It's definitely, it's raw.
Mm-hmm.
There's no doubt there. So I don't know. I mean, to me, like that guitar line right at the beginning of that song, like you're about to. I mean, it sounds like trouble.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm.
You know, you know what I mean? Like it just, I don't know. Like it's, yeah, this one, I, I don't know what else to say other than what you've said already. I mean, I don't know what to add to it, but man, it is so, I don't know, just a
It
incredibly
Mm-hmm.
powerful song.
Yeah, it definitely takes some guts to do a song like this on your first record,
Mm-hmm.
because your
Yeah,
career's like potentially hanging in the balance, right? And obviously they went on
yeah,
to more success with Forefront Records after this. But yeah, I even today though, it's hard for me to listen to this one.
Mm-hmm.
But I think that that's a, a good thing.
Mm-hmm.
As I listen to it, and then obviously, so context, like he's writing the song because a friend of his is raped, and he doesn't
yeah,
know how to deal with the feelings of that and the emotions of it, and he's wrestling
right.
with how like can I forgive someone that has done this to someone that I love.
Hey,
And so the first verse is about the guy that raped his friend, but then verse 2 is he's talking
Yeah.
about God and his own sin, and how God readily forgave him for his sin. So why should he not be able to forgive? There's just a lot, man. There's a lot there.
It,
It reminds me of there's a Sufjan song on Illinois called John Wayne Gacy Jr., where he's telling a story about one of the most notorious serial killers in American history. And he uses a line where he talks about how John Wayne Gacy would bury bodies under the floorboards of his house. But
yeah.
then the song ends with him saying, but in my best behavior, I'm really just like him. Look beneath the floorboards to see what I've hid. And it's like the same idea of just like we're all sinners, and we've
Yeah.
if we have been forgiven, what right do we have to not be willing to show forgiveness to others? Yeah, it's challenging.
And do you guys ever find this to be the case to where like forgiving someone for what they do against you is a lot easier than forgiving someone of what they do against someone you love?
Yeah,
Yeah,
100%.
like that is a man. That's a hard thing. It's almost harder. Yeah, and I think that's.
No, I completely agree with that. I think you're right.
Yeah.
All right, track 6 is Pavement. This one,
Yes.
so heavy at the beginning, and I love it. I'm here for it. Yeah. So this one makes me feel a little bit of like the production of the whole record. That it's really simple production. There's nothing flashy about it at all, but it's a really full sound at the same time. And so it captures the drums and the bass and the guitars. Even though it's really simple, it captures those in a really full way. And I think that's kind of showcased by a song like this, when these guitars kick in, that they're really heavy and really full. Yeah, I like this one.
Yeah, for me, I really love the song. I really like the guitar in it too, and I really just love the struggle they're painting of what this man's going through. And honestly, this whole album, what stood out was, you said before, the lyrics. It's simple, so we're not doing anything crazy with them, but every track, the lyrics were refreshingly good. And I think with the 90s,
Yeah.
a lot of times that's my struggle, is maybe not, being born in 92, it's not really appreciating getting into music until the mid 2000s. So a lot of 90s stuff comes across as very cheesy musically and lyrically.
Yeah.
So for me, that's what
I
stood
can
out
see that,
is that I think with even the tracks on here that maybe I didn't love, it was never a lyric thing. It was just the music thinking, oh, I want to tweak this or tweak that. And so to me, it was just really refreshing on this album to think, yeah, every one, the lyrics it's simple and it's done well.
Yeah.
Yeah. Such a good man. I just love this record. like just sitting here and just kind of thinking about it, man. It really rocked my world when I first heard it. I was just like, wow, I can't believe this exists. It was just, I don't know.
Yeah, that's a good word too, Brandon. That something about this album that's good is that this is an extremely Christian album. Like there's no hiding it at all. It's like out there, but it never comes across in like a cheesy kind of way. Whereas their next record has one of those songs, which is pretty cheesy. But that's what happens when you sign to like a major Christian label. So I do love that about this one. That's really good.
Next up, we have The Hunger. For me, I think it was a cool, a nice slowdown to kind of take a little bit of a break from the heaviness. And it really showcases the vocals on this one.
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
it was a nice just kind of break while getting to appreciate the vocals. What about you, John Paul?
What a great. I can't say enough about this guy's vocals. I mean, they're just like, who is another vocalist that was even like him? Like I'm thinking about it at that particular time.
Mm-hmm.
At that, like, I mean, there was Jeff Buckley.
Yeah.
I mean,
yeah.
you know,
It's
like,
probably
he kinda,
the closest comparison.
yeah, it's just, I don't know. I mean, there was just, that's what I loved about this record, both sonically, lyrically, just thematically. It's stripped down, it's raw, it's honest,
Mhm.
and then, like, it doesn't hide behind anything.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's just, I don't know.
Yeah, I agree. I this is a great song. It's up there for me on the album. I think the chorus is great. The vocals are great. I love just the idea behind it too, of just hungering, hungering for Jesus and time with Him, and being in a putting yourself in a place of need. I think is such a important like theme. I think this song also showcases the fact that Brian McSweeney's like a great guitar player. When that classical guitar kicks in, that's him like cranking on that thing. And he doesn't, the thing about this record is he does not show off at all on the guitar. But he's an incredible guitar player. And you probably don't know this, Brandon, but there was a point in time when Audio Adrenaline was going through a transition in guitarists. I think after Bloom, their guitar player had been with them from the beginning, stepped away, and Brian actually stepped in and was the lead guitar player for Audio Adrenaline for a while.
I had forgotten that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
I saw that tour. Did you go and see them?
I think I did.
Yeah.
I think I did. Yeah.
And that guitar work on like that Audio Adrenaline album Bloom is no joke. Like that guy was an incredible player. And Brian, I mean, he's great. And so I love that about this too. But yeah, that's a great song. I love the build up to the last chorus. It's really cool. Really cool. Track number 8 is Restrained.
Yeah. Yeah.
What do you guys think about this one?
Go ahead.
I always get worried because I'm like, this is gonna be the track where I'm like, I'm not strong. And it's like, it's amazing. But no, for me, so earlier I'd made a comment about how I felt like one of the ones jumped around like a little bit, and I felt like this one did it too, but I enjoyed the jumping around. I think that whereas the other one was maybe just a step or two like over, I liked, and I think once again I liked the female like vocal showing back up.
Yeah.
And I think that's what's so weird is that with both the tracks that she was on, that was the highlight of the track. So that's why it made me think like it's weird that there's no, that's Shelly or whoever
right.
singing.
Yeah.
So to me it's cool when you can have something that's a little piece mean a lot to it.
Yeah.
So
yeah. JP, what do you think about this one?
Oh man, it's just phenomenal, dude. I don't know. I don't know what else I can add about the specific track that I haven't already said. It's just more of the same. I mean, it's just yeah.
Yeah, I think this one. So for me, when you hit this point in the album, like this is like my favorite part of this record.
Yeah.
And this one really, the hunger starts it, but it leads into this one. I love the space that they give on the verse for the vocals to shine. You have this rhythm going, but the bass like will hit a note and just sustain it for a while, and it keeps hitting the same note, just sustained over and over again. And it creates this bed for the vocals just to kind of like stand out on top. And I think that's really cool. And the chorus with the echoing melody with the female vocal, like you said, Brandon, I think is cool. And I love that it ends like in a pretty small kind of way. And so this one's definitely a highlight of the record for me. So
Yeah. Next, we move to Delightful You. JP,
Delight-
what are your thoughts?
You know, this I was thinking about this again to bring up not to keep bringing up Pedro the Lion, but I was thinking about what was the name. There was a song that says oh man, Joel, you're gonna have to help me here, brother. It talks about the wisdom of man, like unless you plan to change the truth to accommodate the wisdom of man.
yeah.
What's the name of that
I
song?
can't remember, but I know what you're talking
Anyway, but that's exactly what I think of with this song. Like, it's like, it's coming with this idea of doubt. Like can I trust you with my doubt? Like that's what I remember about this track. Like it's just, I was like Lord, can I trust you? So it's like this whole record, it's like one constant prayer. I mean, and that's the way I always took it. And it's just like it's like can I trust you? Or it's like trying to get a feral cat to come and eat out of your hand. And it's essentially kind of what this reminds me of. This entire record is just like, approaching God with all of your doubts and anyway. And I think all of these songs are just, it's kind of like they're taking he's taking another step. Like I look at it as just one big narrative. Anyway.
That's cool. Brandon, what did you think about this one?
Yeah, I really like the bass line in it. I think too, what's interesting is there's like a shift after the first verse, and I felt like the second half of the track was like I enjoyed it more. But I thought that was interesting. Whenever there's a track where you're used to like albums saying, "Oh, I like the second half of the album better," or the first half. So I feel like it's interesting whenever there's like a song and you're like, "Oh, in the 3 or 4 minutes this was on, I like this 2-minute section better."
Yeah.
But yeah, I liked it, and like I feel like it can be challenging whenever you do have a shift like that. But I enjoyed it.
That bass line, sheesh. It's crazy. I love the groove of this one. We're basically just got that bass going and like a really tight snare that they're hitting. And I love the part when the last verse is like just drums and the vocals, and then it kicks in again. This one's just got a different feel from most of the rest of the record, which I think is a great change of pace. And I love a band that can do that and pull it off, and it still feel kind of cohesive. And then they do this thing at the end of the track where, again, it sounds like what would be its own like track. You've got this little acoustic transition or interlude kind of thing that's the melody of the last song, but it's connected to the song before, which is I don't remember how that worked out on a CD, but I know in my Apple Music it's like not its own thing, which I thought was interesting. But it leads into the last track of the album, Ashamed.
Ashamed.
Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, Joel, I think we covered this in Ransom Tree. I think we covered this song.
I could see that. John Paul, I was actually thinking, I wrote a note down that says, this reminds me of a Ransom Tree song that we never one of those maybe that never got on an album that was kind of on that second unreleased thing that we were working on.
Yeah.
But you might be right in the fact that we either covered this or I think we completely ripped it off and wrote something that
we
sounded just
probably
like
did.
it.
No, man, what an incredible song. I mean, this to me, this is the quintessential. Like this is the song on the album. Like I don't know, it just again I keep hitting on this whole narrative. It just sort of brings it into completion. It's like, hey, we've gone through the struggle. You know you've seen me at my rawest. Now through that I've seen your goodness. I'm yeah, I'm not ashamed.
Yeah,
You know, and this is yeah.
I think it's good. I love I love how it's now I'm ashamed. Like like he showcases his shame throughout the song until the very end, and then it's like now I'm not ashamed.
Yeah.
And this, I think you're right. I think this is like this like what I don't know. There probably weren't really singles, but this should have been like the single of the album that would have stood out. It reminds me of that instrumental part that it jams out into at the end of the song is so good.
Yeah,
You got that guitar riff that sounds like almost like a Collective Soul kind of guitar. Like
yeah, it is. Yeah.
yeah, this is like the most emo song on the album, so I'm just
Yeah,
I'm
it
here
really
for that.
Yeah.
And maybe yeah.
I felt like it is another track that highlighted the vocals well.
Yeah.
And I think it was a great ending to the album because going back to the beginning, the first song is very important, but also the last song,
Yeah.
it's like what's in between that. And there's sometimes where the back end of an album is let's just stuff the ones that maybe like we're just filling in.
Yeah.
And I think with this album it gets better the second half of it. And I felt like that was cool that by the end of this like, you know, I feel like there's some albums you listen to and you're like, okay, when is this over? How many tracks do we have left? And to me, what was cool was, as I said at the beginning, is going into it not knowing the band, not knowing the album. It was cool to get to the end and still be enjoying it.
Yeah.
And there was no part, this is probably bleeding into like thoughts on the album. But to me, it was cool to get to the end and go, that was a nice album. There wasn't this part of, all right, can we wrap this up? Because I want to get back to my music. you know?
And I was thinking about the way that you think about music sometimes, Brandon, with these last tracks is you try and think about what would this be like as like a last track live in a concert and thinking this would be the song that I would want to hear them end with. Because I want to hear that instrumental part just kicking at the end of their set. I think that would be so cool. So yeah, I love that. All right, well, let's get down to the real part of this and talk about any final thoughts and our ratings of the record from 1 to 5. I don't mind leading out here. So I have to admit that a lot of this for me is probably nostalgia speaking. And like John Paul's talked about how this was such an influential record for me early on. And one of my favorite albums when I was in high school, the end of my high school career. And so just super important to me. But with that, it's not a 5 for me, because I recognize that it's a first album by this band. And had they continued past album 2, I would have loved to hear like what would have happened with them. And Brian McSweeney, obviously, he went on to make a lot of other music in different settings, and it's all fantastic. Yeah. So, anyways, I don't know if it's nostalgia, but I'm gonna give this one a pretty solid 4. But in my heart, I think it's probably even more than that. So. Yeah.
I would have to. I mean, for me, it was kind of like I remember when I heard this record, it pushed me creatively as far as like songwriting for or wanting to do songwriting
Yeah.
Mhm.
like for our for Ransom Tree, and it was very influential. But I was like, this is the kind of music that I would like to create.
Yeah.
If like it gave me a standard. um and yeah, I think if I was honest, I was kind of thinking of four myself, but just to be different, let me give it a. is, can we do fractions?
You
Mhm.
can. Totally. I often
All
give
right,
things a
I'll give it a.
3.2.
Okay, well, I'm gonna give this one a 4.2. Recognizing, yes, I mean it's a great record.
I love that. That's awesome.
Yeah, it's nice getting to see how scientific Joel's is, because it'll be like this was a 1.7, but this one was definitely a 5. And I remember the first few ratings we did, I would sit there and think, I kind of just looked at the CD and went, I'm feeling a 3. um, which for me, so I think that's where I land on this album
Yeah.
is a 3. Um, but it was, like I said, going into it was thinking, oh man, this is gonna be a challenge to listen to some like 90s like soft worship type things. But to me, what's cool is I love getting to listen to a band or an album I've never listened to, and when after that album, it makes me want to go listen to what went on. So
Yeah.
to me,
Yeah.
that's what's cool, is that I'm excited to, after this podcast, go and listen and get like, I'm excited to see how, okay, they've talked about how there's this shift, so I'm excited to see, oh, let me go listen to this other album and compare it. So to me, that it's just cool when a band can do that, when, like I said, at the end of it, it's not, okay, cool, we've done this review, I can put this band back on the shelf. So yeah.
Yeah, Brandon, I think I can pretty solidly say for you that you are going to much more enjoy their second record, and you might actually love it. I definitely encourage you to check it out. We didn't talk about this, but I've got to, since we're talking about 7-Day Jesus, I just have to throw out that Happy Christmas Volume 1, 7-Day Jesus
Oh my gosh,
covered Oh Holy Night, and it is
it
the
is.
standard for Oh Holy Night
Oh
for
my
me
gosh,
till this
you
day.
will. Yes, so much. Yes,
You want
that it. Wow.
want to
Yes,
talk about a song that showcases Brian McSweeney's vocals? Holy cow. The man can sing.
yeah. In fact, that might be my favorite 7-Day Jesus track.
Hmm.
It is that good.
I definitely think it's the
It,
one I listen to most.
Hmm.
Yeah.
yeah,
It's
it
incredible.
is so stinking good.
It's so great. All right, well, let's talk about the lyric of the week.
It's time for the lyric of the time.
All right, so the lyric of the week comes from the song Restrained. I still remember when I held my breath and dove right in and never wondered would the water hold. So take me to a place where I won't hide but seek your face. After all, I've never drowned before. I love that. Love that. That's actually some really good writing right there. So, well, John Paul, man, this has been so fun having you join us for this.
Man,
It's always a
thank
joy
you so much.
just to chat and catch up, but it's super fun getting to talk about music and reminisce a little bit. So, I know that you mentioned you're a little bit of a hermit or something, but is there any way or anywhere that anybody can find you? Or do you have any music that you've made that you want to plug?
I mean, I've got a record that I made an EP a few years ago. Yeah, it's you can find John Paul Dove. You can find me on Spotify, on basically all anywhere you find music, it's on there. It's called My Son the Brawler.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so
it's a great EP. I love it. I love it. You did a great job with that one.
well, you're very generous. Thank you.
And of course, we made some music together, some of which
Yes, we
I
did.
want you to find, and some of which we can just pretend that it doesn't exist.
Man, I tell you, this time of the year, I do. I just, man, I listened to one of our tracks this morning. I don't know, just
The fall
that opening
makes
track
me
on the
makes me feel all nostalgic. Yeah, no doubt.
It does.
I have an autumn playlist that's one of my favorites, and so our first track off the Bellador record, Autumn Fair, is on there because, of course, it is. It's about autumn.
There you go.
So that's great. You wrote that. It's a great song. I love that.
Well, it was, man. Those were fun days. I think fondly of them.
Same, my friend. Well, dude, thanks again. We appreciate it and look forward to maybe having you on again sometime to talk about some of your other favorite records. So
Absolutely. And Brandon, it was great to meet you.
It was nice meeting you too.
all right. Love you, brother.
Love you too, man.
Thanks everybody for listening. Like, subscribe, all the fun things. Give us a review, and we will look forward to seeing you next week.
Hey, are you listening?